Now let us turn to Kindiki Mbarire war. Is it a war? It's not a war, because war is when two or more sides fight. And here I'm seeing, I've not seen Mbarire even fight back or anything. To me, Kindiki just goes to Mbarire, starts attacking her, so on and so forth, which is unfair, especially for a person of the political career of Kindiki. Kindiki belongs to, you have divided Kenya into two types of politics. I have divided Kenya into two types of politics. We have one type of politics that is called the Kibaki politics. And we have the opposite side is called the Raila politics. The Kibaki politics is the politics of gentlemen, if at all there is gentlemen in politics. The people who can be referred to as Kibakist in political affairs are people like Kalonzo Musyoka, Musalia Mudavadi, Kindiki, and so on and so forth. But people who can be classified as Raila politics are people like the vice president. Hey, how long will it take us to still be referring to Ruto as the deputy president? Ruto type of politics is the Raila type of politics. Nani pretends to be on that field, Natembea, but I don't think Natembea is on that field. The type of Raila politics are the men in black. So I think Ruto belongs to that. Kindiki doesn't. And then we have this issue in politics, especially in Kenya, whereby a lot of people say that Kenya is always on political or campaign. There's somebody who once said that the best time to campaign is the day after the last election. If you want to be an MCA, you want to be a MNA, you want to be a women rep, you want to be a senator, you want to be a governor, or even the president, don't wait until the elections are declared to start campaigning. If you want to be, let's say, let us take it at the barest. You want to be an MCA. Announcing that you want to be the MCA, you announce when the campaigns are, when the seats are declared. But when there is, I guess, you start as kids sports or whatever. Other kids who are going to for the music festival or something, you throw there 20,000, do that way, that way. In every you do, I mean, you involve yourself in a lot of things, such that when people will just come to you and tell you that they have seen that you are the best person to be the next MCA and all other positions that have been talked about. But all in all, in Kenya, we are told that Kenyans. There is even a time when Britain had a general election in a month's time, and Kenya was going to have a general election in 4 years' time. So someone said that the political tension in Britain, when they are about a month to the general election, you cannot compare it to Kenya, which has an election in the next 4 years. You'd think that it is Kenya which is going to have an election in the next month, and you'd think that Britain is the one who is going to have an election in the next 4 years. So Kenya, we campaign throughout. Another thing in Kenya is politicians fight throughout. Politicians fight throughout. Now, there are two types of internal civil war that happens. There is the Raila type and there is the Kindiki type of internal fights. Let us start with the Raila type of fight. You see, the year 2002, KANU had been wiped out. Actually, it has never recovered. Can anybody tell me how many members of parliament KANU has? I'm not talking of MCS. I'm talking of the National Assembly and the Senate. How many KANU MPs are there? Well, we have to look out for that. It died because of the election of 2002. Now, when NAC took over, it was so powerful that in the opposition benches, there were no people to fight, to place the government in checks. So it turned into itself, self-cannibalism. It turned against itself. And this is where the war that was called MOU war. They divided themselves into two. There was the LDP, and then there was the NAK. Kibaki now had not to worry about the opposition party, but he had to worry about the opposition people within his party. Now, this is the Raila type of internal political civil war goes to, it aimed at the overall head, but the Kindiki type, which is very common in many places, you don't aim at the head, you aim at other places. Now, at this point of time, the opposition maybe, or that is how Kindiki feels, is not powerful towards towards the government. Now he turns to the internal civil, just like the other one, but this one is slightly different because this one is not aimed at the president. This one is not aimed at the. It is not aimed at the president. It is not aimed at Ruto. It is aimed at senior officials in the party. Remember, he is weakened. Kindiki is weakened. Hakuna haja ya kuficha. You see, in Kenya's history, the position of deputy party leader is always held by one person. There is only one time when the deputy party leader was held by two people in a party, but it was not in the government. When it was two occasions, yeah. When Moi saw that the country would be divided into several times, he decided that the deputy party leader should be four positions. There was Mudavadi, there was Uhuru, and others. He did that for political survival. That is the first time it happened. The second time it happened was during, just before the last general elections. We had a situation where uh, Raila had to choose two deputy party leaders. He had to choose two deputy party leaders, one from the coast and one from the western. So, but the position that Kindiki is finding himself in a fair, in a fair level ground, in a fair level ground, we are supposed to have one party leader who is Ruto and one deputy party leader. But you find that when ANC dissolved itself and joined UDA, it was created two positions. So that one weakened him to some extent. Another thing is Kindiki wants to be the regional leader, first of all, of Mount Kenya East, and then later on the whole Mlima. And that is why he has targeted Cecily Mbarire, which to me is unfair. There are occasions, when we go for this, is it athletics? You don't celebrate until you umekata utepe. 2 to 3 steps before reaching the finish, you can be overtaken. It is really, you see, Kindiki is fighting several fronts. He's fighting several fronts. And then let me tell you, if you are fighting 2 to 3 fronts, the last thing you should do is open an extra front again. If we go to the truth, Kindiki should be a very much worried person, especially with the Kenyan politics, where they say, how much have you brought into the basket? If you look at the politics of Mlima, Wamunyororo is near our place. Wamunyororo is near Kayaba. Wamunyororo is near Kayaba. My mother is buried at a Kayaba place called next to Kiriko Primary School, stage nguruwe. Hizo nguruwe ni zetu. Those are our nguruwe. When 90% of people who go to Wamunyoro pass through Kayaba. Let me tell you one thing. If you have to look at the issue of Wamunyoro, he is coming out. As a Madherian, I can say that the current member of parliament is giving him a hard time. We have political giants. Political giants usually treat their constituencies for granted. But the way the MP for Madeira has given Wamunyoro a hard time, imagine, okay, let us say that he even eats into 30% of Madeira and Wamunyoro has 70. You see, that is a very big figure and a very big dent to Wamunyoro. Talk of Bondo with Raila. Can you imagine Bondo with Raila? Can you talk of Eldoret against Ruto? You see, being a kingpin and your constituency, I hope you get what I'm saying. But looking at the Mulima area, the government has to be worried about Wamunyoro on issue to do with, first of all, Kirinyaga. He has a lot of support from Kirinyaga. I know Kirinyaga and Karatina are very close. There is an MP, Ephraim Maina, from Madeira, but his company was called Kirinyaga Construction. My grandmother, after teaching me the Nyeri accent, wanted to teach me the Ndia accent, which I refused. It's really hard. So there is a lot of connection between Kirinyaga and Madeira. And Kirinyaga is the home area of Mother Karua. But anybody, especially in the Ruto camp, assuming that that Kirinyaga they can snatch it from Wamunyoro, that is lying. So Kirinyaga is his. Nyeri, I doubt. I would expect Nyeri, if he does very well, he'll reach 40%. Nyeri. Muranga is coming out well. Muranga, he has something like 40 or whatever. And depending on what Didi Nyoro does, we don't know whether 2027 Didi Nyoro will go will be with him, or even Didi Nyoro will be against him or whatever. Definitely, Didi Nyoro has burned bridges with Ruto. So what Ruto camp should we really wish is that Ndindi Nyoro forms a third way party, just like Maraga is trying to do in Kisii, because Kisis are the most united people in anything. The only time Kisii will agree with you is if you are the person the person you are debating with or arguing with is not a Kisii. But you argue with a Kisii, you debate with a Kisii, another Kisii will always believe that the Kisii is right. So the best way to plow into Kisii votes from Matiang'i, Matiang'i taking all the Kisii votes and then sharing through Muigai, sharing the mountain votes, that it will come out very strong. That is why a person like Maraga would close something, even if it is little, even if it is 5%. You see, every vote counts. I would expect people in Ruto camp to pray and hope that because Ndindi Nyoro cannot go back to UDA, and we don't know about. You see, some Muranga people at times when when they kama ni kwenda, no reverse. You can see what happened to Matiba once. Something can enter into Ndindi Nyoro's mind to believe that that is his time. And Ndindi Nyoro, if Ndindi Nyoro comes out, regarding Gachagua should forget about Muranga. But if Ndindi Nyoro at the end of the day, they join up with the Gachagua, Ruto has to be very worried. And even now, chances of Ndindi Nyoro patching up with the Ruto are very slim. But you can see how politics is happening. Uh, can I also call it railist? Take yourself. This is somebody who mended ways with who? With Kibaki. The people who used to call Kibaki ati alikuwa kwa wheelbarrow. Same happens to Uhuru. Same happens to what do you call Ruto. Now I'm telling you that in politics, there is no swearing in that. There is no swearing. There is no swearing that so and so and so and so cannot be together. Anybody can be together. Didi Nyoro may even at the last time turn back and be close to Ruto. In all these stories, there is a common denominator. In every election, the battlefield has always been in Luhya land. But right now, in the 2027, the battleground will be in the mountain. Will be in the mountain. And I understand what Nani is planning. I understand what Kindiki is planning. Because if people have surrounded you and they want to lynch you, people have surrounded you and they want to lynch you, what do? You usually look at the weakest person, then make a breakthrough there. I think Kindiki has come up and decided that the weak point is Barire. Yes, there's also this tension about the by-election. You remember there is the MP who was made, Rook was made the minister. So Kindiki wants to create a situation where he wants to be in control of everything. so as to please the president. Remember, no, most of these people, we have so many good people who can make it in a senior position, but it is always the question of what are you bringing on the table? What are you bringing on the table? Uh, you'll find that that is why people like Mudavadi would have been a very good deputy president. But you see, making Mudavadi the deputy president at the time when Rigathi Gachagua was impeached was done because was or could not happen because of backlash from the mountain. And also, definitely, Kindiki would have been a better deputy president, or even many more other people. But when uh, Raila chose Mother Karua to be his running mate, then if Raila would have taken anybody from anywhere in the country as his running mate, uh, the Ruto would have been free to choose another person from another area to be his running mate. And even when the things went to these two, Kindiki was just dropped because of the feeling that people would feel that Kindiki is not very much near the mountain as Wamunyoro. So that is why Wamunyoro, plus of course there is that amount pocket, but that is the politics. Now, what is happening here is that the next election, as I said, it's going to be centered on, it is going to be centered on uh, the mountain. The mountain is going to be the swing vote, just like Luhyaland used to be. And I am seeing Kindiki's action of consolidating the mountain vote to himself to secure. Of course, uh, it would be unwise for Ruto to choose another running mate, but you see, Kindiki would want to secure his position, and he has seen that the weakest person to attack or do is none other than uh, Cecily Mbarire. Cecily Mbarire also belongs to that type of Kibaki type of politics, clean politics. Now, what has he chosen? It is very surprising for of all people, of all the people, for Kindiki to be viewed as if he's a sycophant, to be viewed as if he's a sycophant. Why am I trying to say is he wants to be seen as a sycophant? Whatever happened in Embu was unfortunate. It was unforeseen. I think, talking as a special branch officer, I think our people slept on their duty because the heckling of the president is supposed to be known. But who knows? Maybe our people knew. Let me change gear also. Because I remember Jomo Kenyatta was in Kakamega. Jomo Kenyatta was in Kakamega. And Special Branch advised him not to go to Kisumu. Special Branch advised him and said, during the official opening of the Russian hospital, Special Branch advised him not to go to Kisumu. They said that Kisumu was very hot. And he said, kwani ni nini? Plus, he added a few and unprintables. Is it unprintables or unmentionable? Said, is Kisumu not part of Kenya? They told him Kisumu is part of Kenya. And who is the president of Kenya? You are the president of Kenya. And who is the president of Kisumu? You are the president of Kisumu. So he went. We don't know whether Ruto was advised by NIS not to go to Embu. But of all people, Kindiki to have gone to that low level of undermining Cecily Barire was very, very much unfortunate. It was very much unfortunate, especially coming from him, a person who is known to play clean politics. Uh, the okay, to him is trying to show that Barire was incompetent. Now, if just taking into that the taking that the heckling happened in her area, so she should be blamed. That is the Moi regime. That is the Moi system, where they say that whenever anything would happen during Moi's time, they would blame the local leader. That was bad. Whatever happened, unless NIS has information that Cecily Mbarire organized the, or Cecily Mbarire knew in advance such a thing was happening. And if she knew in advance, she may have even tried to correct it or anything. So without that information, we should not blame Cecily Mbarire. And knowing Cecily Mbarire the way I know her, she's not the one to blame for what happened. It was just an unfortunate thing. But then a person like Kindiki using that and then sneaking to that place and trying to undermine Barire was very much unfortunate. As we finish our recordings today, let me pass a message to those in power. Remember what Pastor Ezekiel told President Ruto. Pastor Ezekiel told President Ruto that you did not win the election. It is people who rejected this other fellow. You did not win the election. It is people, it is voters who rejected this other fellow. Politicians forget that. As today, as I said when I started by saying that when KANU was wiped out in 2002, and it became more like, I don't know. I think KANU died in 2002, and nobody now remembers what KANU is. A generation has been born, they are voting, maybe they'll just read about KANU, Baba na Mama, from the books. What happened? And this is where the history of Kenya politics is happening. Have you noticed that from the year 2002, no political party has been elected twice? 2002, it is Nation NARC, NAC, NAC that won the election. In the year 2007, let us just say that PNU won. For the sake of this recording, PNU won. So 2002, NAC. 2007, PNU, isn't it? 2013, it was a coalition of TNA. TNA, what was the name of the Ruto's party? That was TNA and the Ruto's party formed a coalition. 2013. 2017 was what? 2017 was now Jubilee as a party. Now 2022, Kenya Kwanza. I nearly said Kenya Kwisha. If we continue this way, you'll find that in 2027, this is what Kindiki, as a professor of law, should be reading and changing that. Thank you.